Hey everybody, this is Dayton with Resonate Recordings. Today we're going to be talking about the Zoom H6 handheld recorder. Now this recorder essentially replaces your computer, and we get a lot of questions from podcasters about how to use it and the best ways to optimize it for podcast recording. So that's what we're going to be getting into today. Okay, so in the box, you get the recorder. You get two microphone attachments. You get an MS microphone attachment, and you also get the XY microphone attachment. These are both stereo microphones. We recommend getting a dedicated microphone. So instead of using these for recording your audio, we recommend you get a separate microphone. You also get a windscreen. You get a carrying case, USB cable. You get a 2 GB SD card, 4 batteries, and you also get the Cubase LE software. Okay, so let's jump to this side. You have inputs 1 and 2. These are combo inputs that have XLR or TRS connection. You have the SD card slot where you put your SD card in. You've got 1/8 inch headphone jack, volume control for your headphones. There's the power switch. So let's move to the other side of the recorder. You have a 5-volt USB power. This is how you transfer files to the computer. Or you can also use an external power supply that's not included with the recorder. Menu button, scroll wheel for navigating the menu, and then you have inputs 3 and 4 for your microphones. Now on the front of the recorder, each channel has a gain knob, trim knob, and a pad. So if your input level is too hot, you can turn the pad on and it'll decrease the volume of the input signal. You have target buttons. So for targeting the left and right to record, which is the external microphone that goes on top, you have channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I'm plugged into channel 1, I want to hit 1 if I'm recording on channel 1. You have transport controls, basic, play, stop, pause, record, fast forward, and rewind. So before we begin recording, make sure you have fresh batteries in there. I recommend using lithium batteries. Even though they're more expensive, they'll last longer. With regular alkaline batteries though, you can get up to about 3 hours of recording. So when you turn on, it's gonna ask you to set the language and to set the date and time. And once you've done that, just hit record, and it's gonna take you to the main screen. So the first thing you wanna do is you wanna reformat your SD card. So to do that, select menu, go all the way down to SD card, and then select format. And it'll ask you if you're sure, hit yes. Now you're ready to record. Next, let's choose the recording format. So if you go down to record and then record format, make sure that you have 44.1 kilohertz 24-bit wave file selected. This will be optimized for podcasting. All right, so now let's select the folder that we're gonna record into. By default, you're gonna be recording into folder 1, and it says it's an empty folder. So go ahead and hit record and select that folder. So now you're in folder 1. If you're gonna be recording different episodes, I recommend you record into 2 separate folders. That way it keeps your files more organized. So if you do another episode, you can select folder 2 for that. Keep in mind that whatever folder you'll put it in, when you go to retrieve your files from your computer, that's gonna be the folder your audio is in. So if you go to the input and output section, you have all these options for a low cut, compressor limiter. I recommend not doing any of that and letting your post-production team handle all the processing. But if you are using a condenser microphone, you're gonna need to select 48-volt phantom power. All right, now that we have all that set up, it's time to plug in the microphone. So once you plug in your microphone, we're gonna select the channel that we're recording, which is channel 1. So now the light on channel 1 flashes. So if you bring up your gain, usually I bring it up about halfway to about 5 or so, you can see that we're getting signal. Now, On this meter, you want to be hitting around -12, so we're a little bit low. So if I continue to get louder, there we go. So now we're getting closer. So if I go too loud, that's distorting. And you can see that the clip indicator light is blinking. So let's back that off until I'm averaging around -12. So right there looks pretty good. So as long as you're in the -12, hovering around -12, we should be okay. If you have a second microphone, you can select track 2 and then adjust the gain on track 2 as well. All right, so now we're ready to record. All you gotta do is hit the record button, it turns red, and then you start seeing the numbers. So we're recording now, and so whenever you're done recording, you can hit stop. And then if you need to record another take, you just hit record again. And so now you can see it's named the file Zoom 0002, and that's because we're recording the second file. Hit stop again. So that's the basic recording features. Now that we're done recording, it's time to transfer the files to the computer. Okay, so now plug your USB cable into your computer. Go to Menu, USB, select SD card reader. And now there it is. The folder is going to be labeled H6 SD. And so we recorded into folder 1. There's my take 2. And there's take 1. And it's always best practice to name your files as well, instead of just having it be Zoom 0001. That way you ensure that you know exactly what files they are. All right, that's it for this tutorial. If you have more questions, you can go to resonaterecordings.com or you can email us at help@resonaterecordings.com. Thanks again and happy podcasting.